Welcome back to my channel. I'm Joe, Smokin Joe's Pit Barbecue. On today's video, I'm going to be smoking up some delicious, smoky beef ribs on my Gatway drum smoker. Stay tuned. All right, so let's get started on our beef ribs. What I've got here is 2 racks. These are 3 bones apiece, and these are choice beef ribs, Black Angus. I gotta tell you, sometimes the choice is better than your prime that you can get at the store, so don't be afraid to buy yourself some choice beef instead of prime. It's just as good, sometimes even better, especially on the marbling. So I'm just gonna open these up real quick. All right, so I've got the beef ribs out of the package, and I gotta tell you, these are pretty meaty, especially these end ones. Usually this one right here on the end doesn't have as much meat as the one on the opposite end, but there's still enough meat on there for somebody to eat. So I'm just gonna start with this rack right here. As you can see, there's a lot of silver skin on this surface and also a lot of fat. I don't like leaving a lot of this fat on my beef ribs, especially since these are gonna be smoking on my Gateway drum smoker. Where you want the protection is on the bottom, so I'm not gonna be removing the membrane on these ribs, okay? So let's get started with removing some of the silver skin. You guys have seen me trim a bunch. Just slide your knife. I am using a 6-inch boning knife from Dale Strong, which is super sharp. I like to go right under that silver skin, come out the other side, and just stay right above that meat, just like this. And then lift up this flap right here, and then come across the other way, okay? Remembering to try to stay above that meat. You don't want to remove a whole lot of meat. Okay, just like that. You can start to see the marbling right there. Beautiful looking ribs. Okay, a little bit more right here. A lot of people like to leave the silver skin on, but I gotta tell you, it gets really tough if you don't remove the heavy pieces, okay? So I like to take most of it off. Okay, got a lot of the silver skin off, so now I'm just gonna trim a lot of this fat. Same process. All right, so I've got most of the silver skin off. Now we do want to warn you on beef ribs, this last bone right here that has all this fat, you don't want to start gouging into that because all you're going to be left with is pretty much a bone with a little bit of meat. Leave some of this fat on there to protect some of that meat, just on that last bone. The rest of it, you can remove the fat and that silver skin, okay? All right, so that looks good to me right there. I'm gonna trim up this other one and I'll bring you guys right back. All right, so I've got both racks trimmed up. I'm just gonna move one aside and I'm gonna season this one first. I'm gonna use olive oil as a binder. So just add a light coating. That way your rub sticks to it. I like to use mustard like on brisket and stuff, but when it comes to ribs or any other finer cuts of beef, I like to use olive oil. Just like this. Now, even though I'm not going to remove the membrane, I am going to rub the back of it as well with some olive oil and also some of the seasoning. So the rubs that I'm using today, I'm using my 2 favorite rubs from Sucklebusters, and I'm doing a head-to-head comparison to see which one comes out better. The first one is Old Trusty 1836. Just add a good layer of this. This stuff is fantastic. I've been using this for many, many years. This has some really good pepper, as you can see right there. Really coarse pepper. All right, don't forget to season the sides and your edges. Just like that. And apply a light coating to the back, even though it's just the membrane. If anything, my backyard is gonna smell delicious. Because again, on the Gateway drum, this membrane is going to be pointing down towards that fire. All right, that looks good. I'm just going to move this aside. All right, so here's my second rack. Again, just apply a light coating of olive oil. Just in case you're wondering, I did wash my hands. to remove the 1836 rub that I had on my glove, okay? That way I'm not interchanging flavors here. All right, so for the second rack, I'm using this Tailgators BBQ rub. This is also from Sucklebusters. I gotta tell you, I just found this rub and it is our new favorite. This stuff is really good on chicken. We've had it on burgers, and I think it's gonna be pretty savage on this rack of ribs as well. So I'm just gonna rub this down real quick. So this rub right here has Worcestershire powder in it. And I gotta tell you, that's gonna pair extremely well with this beef. If you guys have never tried this Tailgators BBQ rub, I highly recommend that you give it a shot. Check out the link inside the description box and get yourself a discount on your next Sucklebusters barbecue rub order. Okay, so that looks good right there. All right, so these are gonna sit on my counter for about 45 minutes, let them come up to room temperature. Meanwhile, I'm gonna go outside and get my Gateway drum going. Stay tuned. All right, so here's a charcoal basket from my Gateway drum smoker. If you can see, I moved the charcoal towards the outside edge so the center is kind of hollow, if you will. And to start these coals, I am using my grill gun. Just gonna start it up. Just like that. Pull the trigger and ignite the coals from the center. All right, so I ran the grill gun for about 1 minute. These are already lit, so I'm just gonna let them ignite a little bit more before I put them inside my Gateway drum smoker. All right, so I've got my drum running at 260 degrees. I am using B&B lump charcoal, and I also threw some hickory chunks in there, about 5 hickory chunks in there to give me some good smoke. So I'm just gonna take the lid off, hang it right here on the side, and here's the 1836 ribs right here. I'm using my meter probes, and I do have the #1 tab on there just to keep track of that. And here's my Tailgators party rub. So I do have both intakes set at 1/4 of the way open, and the exhaust on the lid will be 100% open throughout the entire cook. So I highly recommend that you run your Gateway drum smoker with the exhaust 100% open, and that you control your temperatures with the intake. Right now I'm running it at 1/4 of the way open. If the temperature starts to fall, I will open up the intakes a little bit more. If it gets too hot, I will close the intake. So that's how I'm gonna be controlling my temperature. I am running the smoker at 260 degrees. We'll check back in 2 hours. Stay tuned. All right, so it's been 2 hours since we put our ribs on, and the drum has been running at 260 degrees, nice and steady. I haven't opened the lid in 2 hours. Let's check them out. All right, so I'm gonna pull the lid off, take a look at these ribs. All right, so my #1 rack, which is my 1836, is running at 172 degrees internal, and this Tailgators rub is running at 159 degrees internal. That tells me obviously this one's a little bit thicker, but it's cooking faster. So what I wanna do at this point is just rotate my grate. Just like this, okay? That way if my drum is running hotter over here on the left side, this one's gonna obviously come up to temperature at that point. So I don't need to spritz, the surface is still nice and moist. We're gonna give it another 1.5 hours. We'll come back and check on them. Stay tuned. All right, so it's been 4 hours since we put our ribs on. Again, smoker's still running at 260 degrees, nice and steady. Let's take a look at our ribs. All right, so these ribs look fantastic. I got the color I want. That bark is definitely set. I only have about 20 or 30 degrees to go. This rack right here, which is #1, is reading 178 degrees. And this rack right here, which is #2, is reading at 184 degrees. So they're pretty close, but look at that. Look at that bark. So I'm gonna wrap these tightly in foil, then I'm gonna place them back on the smoker. All right, so I've got the ribs wrapped up. Put them back inside the smoker. These are our 1836 ribs, which were on the right, now they're gonna go on the left. And here's my #2 rack, which is a Tailgators party rub, is going on the right side. All right, so I'm thinking we still have about another 1 hour and 20 minutes to go. I'm looking for an internal temperature of 203 degrees. Once I hit that temperature, I'm gonna come outside, check the tenderness on the ribs, then we'll see you guys back inside. Stay tuned. All right, so the ribs are ready and they have been resting for about 1 hour. Total cook time was 5 hours, okay? And they hit 203 degrees internal. One of them actually hit 205 degrees, and they were really nice and tender. So they have been resting for 1 hour. What you wanna do with any brisket or beef ribs, you wanna let them rest. And according to my meter app, one rack is sitting at 165 degrees, and the larger rack, which is the 1836 rack, is sitting at 171 degrees, and that is fine with me. So let your meat rest, and trust me, you'll end up with a better product. So here's the #2 rack, which is our Tailgators rub. Just gonna remove my meter probe. and see how we did on these ribs. Oh man, look at this. Woo, baby. Now, this was a bigger of the two. So look at that. Man, this Gateway drum smoker did a really nice job with that bark. I'm gonna slice them all, but I'm gonna take this middle rib right here, and that's what we're gonna do our taste test with. These ribs are extremely tender. Holy cow. Look at that. That is money right there. Okay, beautiful racks. Okay, let's slice the 1836 rack right here. Really nice and tender as well. Take a look at this one right here. Oh yeah, that is money. All right, so I took both ribs from the center here, and I'm just gonna take these off the bone here really carefully. I'll work around that bone there, if you will. Okay, move that bone aside. So now we have nothing but the meat. Take this meat off the bone as well. Okay, so here's my 1836 rub right here, and this is my Tailgators Party Rub. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take a few slices. Ooh, man, these are extremely juicy. Good smoke ring. They're cutting really nice. Okay, so there's my Tailgators. Here's the 1836. Gonna slice this one up real quick. Have I mentioned that these things smell absolutely amazing? Both of these are gonna be really good. All right, here's my 1836. So both of them have a really similar appearance, but I'm sure there's gonna be a difference in flavor. Let's give them a taste. All right, let's taste the ribs and see how we did. First, I'm gonna try the Tailgators Party Rub. Here we go. All right, so that rack right there has a really good backyard rib flavor. Just a fantastic flavor. You know that Worcestershire powder that's inside this rub, it's really good. Let's try old trusty 1836. Here we go. All right, so that 1836 has a really good traditional Texas flavor to that rib. I'm liking both of them, okay, but I'm liking one more than the other. I'm gonna let my daughter and my wife try a little piece and see what they think. So here's the Tailgators. And here's the 1836. So I'm gonna have them try the Tailgators first. What do you guys think? Good. Good flavor? Mm-hmm. All right. Now try this one. I've already got a clear winner. Again, both of them are really tasty, but one of them has a little bit more flavor than the other. All right, so what do you guys think? Number one or number two?
Number one.
Number one. Okay, so that is my pick as well. This Tailgators Party Rub, I gotta tell you, for beef, it's got such an amazing flavor. I don't know why I've never tried this rub before. Now, the 1836 Old Trusty is fantastic. I've been using this one for years, especially on my briskets, and there's nothing wrong with this rub, but this rub right here, this Tailgators barbecue rub from Sucklebusters, is fantastic, and I highly recommend that you guys give it a shot. I gotta tell you, that Gateway drum did a fantastic job. There's something about cooking over that fire like that, with the fat dripping on the coals and coming back and hitting that meat. Just a really good flavor. It's the closest thing that you can get to an offset smoker. Make sure you guys check out all the links inside the description box. There you're gonna find information on where you can get some of the items that I use in this video. Hope you guys like this video. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button. Until next time, Joe with Smokin Joe's BBQ. See ya.